Ladies and gentlemen, we have been celebrating the amazing work ethic and pride that drives all of us, the market research fraternity. We'd also like to go back from this evening feeling a little more recharged. And towards this, we have an inspiration session that we've put together for you. Our inspiration partners are Nielsen IQ and Toluna, and a little more about them in a while. We're lucky to have amongst us an inspirational speaker today from outside our fraternity, from outside our industry, to inspire us to ever greater heights. Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi. I'm sure you've heard the name somewhere, and let me tell you a little about her. Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi is, and I'm going to have to look this up, she's a social rights activist, she's a dancer, she's an actor, I'm not yet done, it's still going on. She's a model coordinator, and she's an entrepreneur. My God, that's a whole lot, Lakshmi. How do you even manage to do all of these things? I struggle with one. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're extremely privileged to have her share her journey of resilience and grit and be inspired by the incredible things she has achieved by staying absolutely true to herself and her dreams. Can we have a huge round of applause for Lakshmi, please? And can we have you on stage?
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations to all the awardees. It is really beautiful to have an award in our names. It gives a kind of boost to our energy and our work also. I, Lakshmi Narayan Tripathi, I'm really very happy to be with all of you for today's evening. Then today is a very beautiful day. Today you all are getting awards and everything, and plus today is the International Day of Transgender Visibility. I'm a trans woman. I belong to the traditional ethnic transgender group, which is known as the Hijras or Kinnars, which we say. Today I'll take you back to my childhood. I was a simple, small little child. When I didn't fit in the boxes of male and female, then the issue started, because I was really very feminine at a very young age. And that was one of the biggest, and I was born in Thane, which is suburbs of Mumbai. Today I stay in Delhi. But when I was born in Thane, I was very feminine at a very young age, and people would see my femininity, and my femininity became, at one point of time, a curse on me. At a very young childhood, because of my femininity, I was abused. I was abused physically, sexually, and it went for years. Till, at one point of time, I got the ability to say no. To say no to all the tortures what I was going through. And then a different Lakshmi was totally born. I still remember in 5th standard I had the ability to say no. And from there, and at very young childhood, I was learning Bharatanatyam, and I was, by the 7th standard, I had already had a diploma in Bharatanatyam, so I started my own dance school at a very young age. When I was also going to school, I was teaching dance twice a week in my life. Life went on, and as I grew big, elder, I was growing younger, not younger, nobody grows younger anyways. As I was growing in my life, life went on, and at one point of time, things became really very torturous, because I had already entered adolescence, and it became very difficult in my school during my recess, also to go to the bathroom, because I was scared that somebody would molest me, somebody would pull my leg. So I used to wait for everybody and to walk in the corridors also, it was very dangerous. Because it was not right, because I was not into those boxes of male and female. I didn't fit anywhere. People used to call me Chakka, Good, Mamu, I don't know what not words, right from that very young childhood went on to my ears. But swimming in that waters, the water of difficulty, I became like a duck. When a duck is in the water and comes out, there is not even a single drop of water on the duck. Same thing became to me. I became silent. Silent was a reply. I would not answer anything. I was very shy. As a child, I was a very shy, but when afterwards, while growing, I suddenly became very strong because I said no. I said no to my abuser. I said no to anybody who wanted to put me down. And that's how life went on. When I was in 10th standard, Ken Ghosh was doing his music album, and I think so, maximum people are near about of my age, and they know what music albums of those era was. And I sent my dance student over there, and they were taking part as side dancers in the music album. Over there, I met Annabelle. Annabelle was a model coordinator, and she asked me, are you a fashion designer? Because as young also, I was quite happy, you know. I didn't fix in the boxes. The same way my dressing sense was, as whatever I wanted to, I was wearing a bell-bottom pant, and the bells of the pant were really very big. I was wearing a sleeveless shirt. My nails, now we talk about nail art. That time my nails were big. I had pierced them, put rings into my nails. And that's how she said, are you a designer? And I said, no, I'm not a designer. I'm a dance teacher, and these are my dance students. Then that's how I started model coordination. Annabelle told me that, Lakshmi, whenever I'll require dancers, I will call dancers from your dance school. Is there any problem? And I said, no, there is no problem. And that's how model coordination went on. I had already become a Bharatanatyam dancer. I already became a model coordinator. Life was going very smoothly, but smoothly in my sense. Still there was problems in the mainstream society. The problems of not accepting, the stigma and discrimination was so high, but I didn't give a damn to it. I did my work. I did my dance shows, I did my model coordination, and life went on. The problem was that the transgender is the only sexual minority in LGBTIQ. We are the only visible group which is seen as, you can see a transgender. A gay person has to say, I'm a gay. A lesbian has to say, I'm a lesbian. A bisexual has to say, I'm bisexual. But for trans, it was quite obvious. And I was trans. I was quite obvious. During model coordination, I met Shabina. Shabina was then Lawrence. She was Lawrence that time when I met her. And she was one of the transgender who was initiated in the traditional Hijra community. And then when I met her, I still remember this incident, and then I'll tell you how strong the stigma and discrimination was that time. But I never felt like that because I was financially quite independent on my own self, because I was running the dance school, I was doing model coordination, so I had my own money. Shabina came to meet me at Victoria Terminus, now CST. And then I said, it was afternoon, and I said, now let's go to and have lunch together. And we went to Cafe Montegar. And during going over there, she had inhibitions not to go to the cafe. And I said, why? She said, दुनिया क्या बोलेगी? I said, दुनिया क्या बोलेगी? दुनिया कुछ नहीं बोलेगी. हम पैसा दे रहे हैं अपना. We are paying our own money. हमें कोई मतलब नहीं है. दुनिया क्या बोलेगी? And then I dragged her literally. She was quite not fitting right over there. And she said, nee, this and that. And I made her understand that this is not a problem. Then she said, I'm initiated into the traditional community which are known as Hijras. And I was shocked. I said, अरे वो लोग तो ताली बजाते हैं, वो लोग ऐसा करते हैं, वैसा करते हैं, तुझे डर नहीं लगता? I myself was scared of Hijras. And then she said, no, this is a traditional community. There is a Guru Chela Parampara, everything. And later on in my life, I went and got initiated myself because for the first time I felt very close to some community. I felt they are my type of people. Before that, I was a drag queen. I used to dress as whatever I wanted. People used to call me gay. I used to not fit into the gay community also because I used to, and going only for parties and having fun was not my criteria in life. My criteria in life was that I am a woman and I have to live like a woman. And that's how I got initiated into the community. Life went on, and in 1999, I and Shabina, we established the first transgender organization It is the first organization in Southeast Asia where right from the president to the peon, everybody was trans in that. And when everybody was trans in that, and HIV/AIDS was one issue. Today we talk about Corona, but that time was the era when HIV/AIDS was the biggest thing where people were fighting. And my community people are still maximum. Now the things are changing. We are talking about D&I. Now people are getting of inclusiveness we are talking. But that time, people were only into sex work. People were only into begging. People were only into the traditional blessing community. Only that much was happening over there. And then HIV was the biggest issue in the community because people were in sex work. And Mumbai District AIDS Control Society was the first organization in India which gave a project to the transgender. And it was a pilot project to check whether these people can work. And we said, we are as normal as any man and woman. Why can't we work? We can work, of course. And it became a noble project at the National AIDS Control Society, and where for the first time it was the ownership of the community. The project was an ownership of the community, and it became quite successful. Safe-sex behavior and everything. Life went on. My life went on, and suddenly, one point of time in 2008, I got an invitation because we were traveling to different conferences and creating different organizations. That's how we created the Asia Pacific Sex Workers Network, which was, the main office was in Bangkok. I created one more organization, which is the Asia Pacific. I'm the founding member of the Asia Pacific Transgender Network also. The Asia Pacific Sex Workers Network in 2008 decided that there were 11 people around the world decided to be on the Civil Society Task Force of the United Nations General Assembly President's Office. And then my name was suggested for it. I still remember that when I got the first email, I was totally reluctant to go to, because we had to go to US for it. We had to travel a lot. And then I decided it will be a big headache for me to go for this post, because in US, as it is, Indians were not welcomed very well. There was a lot of racism, and on top of that, I'm a transgender person. My friend answered for me on the email. My photographer, Anita Khemka, she answered and she said, Lakshmi, you're mad. You should take this opportunity. And of course, opportunity never comes at your door. And whenever it comes, you should have the ability to grab it. And the same thing I did. I went, but I said one thing to Anita, please write to the UN that I won't stand on the queue. There used to be in Bombay, we all have seen US consulate for the visa. There is a big queue outside the consulate. It was there during those days. And I said, I'm not going to stand at the queue. And she said, okay, I will write this thing. I got the G4 visa, and I thought it is a gay visa. It was a diplomatic status visa. I went over there, and straight I was taken inside. I had 2 minutes of interview, and I just went for this. There is Haji Malang. I don't know how many of you know Haji Malang Dargah, which is at Kalyan. After the afternoon, I went after my interview with the visa person at the consulate. I said, it is sure I'm not getting the visa. Let's go to the Dargah. And I left for the Dargah. And then, by the second day, I get a call from my brother, and he said, your passport has already come. You have already got the visa, and tomorrow you have to fly, so you need to come back. I rushed back to Thane, my home. And from there, I reached in the morning, and in the evening, I had a flight. I had to rush back to the airport. And that was my flight to UN. And there I went, and there I learned what is the importance of every document, what you read, what you write, every word, what is important. I had learned a lot over there. And lots of patience is required. As an activist, you're always on the roads, always you're demanding for something, always you're fighting against the odds. But over there, I learned what is diplomacy, how you come about everything. And that was a wonderful experience. I was the first trans woman to be ever appointed at the United Nations General Assembly President's Office, Civil Society Task Force. I still remember I went and touched my flag, the Tiranga over there. And I said I would be the first trans woman ever from the country, India, to touch the Tiranga over here. I was quite proud of myself that I have achieved something. Life went on. After coming from there, I did a lot of reality shows. I did Das Ka Dam, I did Bigg Boss, Pichli Raaz Pichli Janam Ka. I don't know, I did all these reality shows in the country, and I became famous even over here also, in my own motherland. Seeing the journey of my life and going through every steps, it was like, good girls go to heaven and bad girls go everywhere. I had to go to every hook and corner of my life, because it was not a straight road. It was never a straight road for me. I had to see such positions in my life which was really very hard to even come over, but I never gave up. For me, it was decision taken at that junction of time was right. So even it is right today. That's why I had no regrets. We started this whole fight that we are as equal citizens in this country as any man and woman. And then we went till the Supreme Court of our country. And in 2004, we got this historic verdict from the Honorable Supreme Court, the Nalsa judgment, which is famously known as, which gave transgender an equal citizenship as any man and woman. An Indian's right to an Indian was given to us in 2014 judgment. After the judgment, the parliament of this country created the Transgender Act. After the act, there are policies which are created. I believe India is the only country where there is a parliament passed Transgender Act. No other country is having in this world. And we are the literally leaders in the transgender movement. And it is the youngest civil rights movement which got its rights. There, now recently you would have seen in Uganda, even if you say LGBT, you are a criminal. You can be put behind bars. And today in India, it's a complete different whole scenario. I'm with the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. I'm the council member. With me, Aryan is also there. Even he's a council member. After winning the Supreme Court battle, we decided to reclaim our lost position in the Vedic Sanatan Dharma. So we created a convent, which is known as an akhada. So we created the Kinnar Akhada, and I was chosen to be the high priestess of it. And that's how you see my attire also. You see the tripund, the tilak on my head. I'm the high priestess of the akhada. Over there, we are in the midst of all the sadhus, and you all know all the Kumbh Mela. All of you know the Kumbh Mela? Yes or no? Yes. So you see that Shahi Snan where all the sadhus go and take the dip. So they have different akhadas. There were 13 akhadas, and we created the 14th one, which I am the high priestess of that akhada. And the sadhus were against us in 2016. In 2019, we had an agreement with the oldest akhada, which is known as the Juna Akhada, that we will do the holy dip or the Shahi Snan with them. And it broke the iceberg even in the sections of the saints and the sadhus, which were totally against, transgenders coming as a group or as an akhada. They accepted us and they said, everybody is equal in the eyes of the gods. We all are equal, and there is no man and woman. It's the soul which is more important. And that's how my life went on. So in short, I have told you everything, that how different positions of my life. I became a dancer, I became a teacher, I became a model coordinator, and then I became a social activist. I acted in films, I acted in music albums, and now I am an Acharya High Priestess in one of the akhadas also. Life has taught me a lot of lessons, but one lesson which I learned is to believe in yourself. And believing in yourself it opens a door of complete success. It opens the doors of complete self-confidence, and that's how I'm over here. Thank you so much. Are we opening for question answers?
Later.
Later, okay. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
What a beacon of inclusivity you are, Lakshmi. I think I speak for everyone when I say you're a true inspiration.
Fabulous stuff. Our next award group is an interesting one. And for this, I'm going to call upon a little bit of... I don't see my friend Himanshu in the audience, so I'm going to call upon Ikita to take this forward. Ikita, what is the most innovative thing you've seen on OTT?
I think that Ranveer Singh show, you know, where you can choose your ending and you can play around the ending.
Absolutely. Yep. You versus Wild, that's the one I'm talking about. And that's the thing, right? You can pick the ending that you want. And in an already innovative space, to actually go ahead and find something that's different, that's innovative, that's the biggest win in that moment. So Ikita, why don't you tell them about the next award that's in the lineup?
Sure, Nihal, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next award group happens to be Innovation. For this special award group, we've partnered with ITC. And the first award in Innovation Group is the Most Effective Storyteller Award. The award celebrates instances where research or analytics was presented in a manner that brought the story to life and made the audience empathize with the consumer. We have the honor to have with us Stan and Shubhadeep Banerjee to give away the award, please. And can we also have the finalist for Most Effective Storyteller?
Effect of pandemic forced us to reassess work priorities. As a talent hub, it's essential for us to understand these changes to remain a preferred employer. Explaining the employee pain points while maintaining anonymity and presenting them within an hour was the biggest challenge. We decided to take the audience through a journey using multiple presentation modes. Crisp storytelling by linking larger human insights and macro forces to the employee behavior. Expanding these emerging factors by dipping into personal experiences and using the first person while articulating the tensions and their manifestations to build more empathy. Simple representation of complex data to clarify relative intensity of the tensions. Distilling our strengths and gaps with an emphasis on simplicity and memorability. Within 3 months of the project, we saw tangible impacts. After all, how can we become good leaders if we don't know our people?
We at Z are storytellers. For our content creators, understanding our ever-evolving viewers is imperative. And for this, we follow the soul-to-screen design philosophy that brings content creators closer to our viewers' dynamic culture.
As business leaders and brand custodians, but most importantly, as consumers ourselves, we are well aware of the power of persuasion when a brand speaks in my language.
After an intensive deep dive into the women's world, we inspired our storytellers by talking to them in their own language.
आज हम 44-45 के हैं तो हम खुद के लिए कब जिएंगे?
Bringing alive the consumer world. Creating connections for inspiring character prototypes. And visualizing with new tools to trigger story possibilities. Finally, co-creating stories and characters. 9 shows of the Z Network have performed phenomenally well with significant milestones in their journeys. And we have the result, landmark shows that India loves.
Let the honors be done by the legend himself.
No. The most effective storyteller award goes to Aditya Birla Paints Division.
Well, congratulations, Team Aditya Birla. And ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the wonderful jury that selected winner for this award.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Our next award is Best Data Collection Innovation. This award rewards data collection innovation that clearly demonstrates being better, faster, cheaper, more efficient, and more accurate than commonly used data collection. We would love to have the pleasure of Titu Ahluwalia and Soren Shah to give away this award, please. A little round of applause for them. And the finalists for this award are up on your screen.
Imagine a world where data, technology, and AI enable you to not just discover real-time trends, but also predict future trends and target the biggest business opportunities in an always-on fashion. This is now possible with AI Hub's Inspire pillar. For the first time in Unilever, AI Hub brings together data sets from CMI People Data Center, Smart Data, and R&D to create an integrated digital workflow that combines social and business analytics, market analysis with artificial intelligence, and machine learning techniques. This allows brands to spot trends on ingredients, formats, and benefits across geographies and categories. Identify market opportunities and white spaces. Define pack price architecture and understand market data and consumer sentiments, all in a matter of minutes.
In this world of big data, where data is on fingertips, identifying trends is easy. But to develop a winning mix, you need deep consumer intimacy. You may dream of launching products in market within 6 months, but there are always challenges of lightning fast course correction, lack of co-creation with end consumers or influencers, and of course, shoestring budgets. Beating these challenges sounds impossible? Well, we did it. This was possible as HUL and Ipsos came together with the aim to bring consumer centricity in an agile, cost-effective and co-creation manner through a first-of-a-kind, always-on consumer panel. The mix of end users, experts and influencers will not only take the brand mix a notch higher, but they will eventually become our brand evangelists, resulting in the fastest ever launch of not just 1 or 2, but 5 brands from HUL, and it helped us in making course corrections on some brands across its marketing mix.
Toluna presents Digital Music Testing. Radio listening has come a long way since its inception in 1923. From big wooden speakers to, now it has squeezed itself into mobile phones. AMT, or Auditorium Music Testing, is the conventional method of choosing power songs for FM radio, where listeners were brought to an auditorium for the selection of songs. AMT, however, could never replicate the actual song listening behavior environmentally. And other challenges are group influence, mammoth logistics, long timelines, and higher project cost involved. Introducing Digital Music Testing by Toluna, a complete direct-to-mobile data collection methodology that tests songs in a more realistic song listening environment. Digital music testing also comes with advanced data quality features, including hearing ability, an audio quality test, a mechanism to test attentiveness, digital scale-led differentiation, and real-time outlier removal. In comparison to AMT, DMT exhibits superior data quality, near zero logistics, and offers significant cost and time savings. DMT received widespread approval from the client's end too. DMT is able to expand market research into unexplored areas, such as RJ selection, radio ad tests, and sonic brand test. Experience the future of music testing.
Best Data Collection Innovation Award goes to Ipsos and HUL.
Fabulous stuff, you guys, and congratulations on the win. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury that worked on this award, I'm sure had their work cut out for them immensely.
Our next award, ladies and gentlemen, is Best Research Methodology Innovation. This award focuses on developing an innovative methodology, either in primary research or analytics, which establishes clear advantages over existing methodology. And may we have the pleasure of asking Paru Manocha and Samir Grover to come us and grace with the award. And the finalists are
What if you were looking to grow in certain markets or categories and didn't know which ones to prioritize? Conventional techniques have many constraints. Presenting intelligent clustering, a solution which is agile, versatile, scalable. It uses many variables and even accommodates cross-sectional data. It is rigorous and rooted in statistics. Distills out the most important and relevant variables using correlation plus logical causality. Uses variance clustering to determine a pecking order, leading to priority clusters. The same approach is versatile and can be adapted to meet different business questions. Bringing the priority markets and competitive positioning to define clear brand actions. A scalable approach where variables are the only dynamic input, also making it 60% cheaper and faster than conventional techniques.
The best research methodology innovation goes to Hindustan Unilever Limited. The Sandhya P team.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Team HUL. Looks like once again you all are taking all the awards.
No surprises there, and we're not jinxing anything, Anila, don't worry. I'm sure you guys will win more. Right, our next award is the Lalit Kanodia Laureate Award for Technology Excellence. This award was instituted 11 years ago by Datamatics to honor innovative trendsetters and game changers who have demonstrated path-breaking ideas to introduce breakthrough technology within the market research industry. Enterprises need to deploy digital research backed by sophisticated digital technologies and go deep in digital to improve revenues, deliver exceptional customer experience, gain a competitive edge, and build a resilient work culture. Come to think about it, it's not very different from what our technology acceleration partner, Datamatics, stands for as a deep in digital organization. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to tell you that to give this award away, we actually have Dr. Lalit Kanodia himself in the room. A big round of applause for him, please. And let's take a look. And let's take a look at the finalists for this award now.
Survection assesses the performance of cities and rank them based on cleanliness parameters. Often, the results are questioned and contested by the city officials as well as the citizens. Numerous RTIs are filed by various stakeholders, which the market research agency must respond to and justify with evidence.
We have used appropriate technology to execute Swachh Survekshan 2020, which helped us automate various components of the assessment and at the same time made our process transparent, evidence-based, tamper-proof and improved the veracity of the data. We are slowly but surely moving from man to machine driven assessments for the large-scale programs.
Yes, going forward I see more and more technology-driven assessment will be done, where use of drone, IoT and blockchain would reduce human intervention to ensure data security, data integrity, access control and privacy preservation.
Dabur wanted to launch the international brand Dermoviva in India, with two key objectives in research: launch as sub-brand or not, and assess and optimize content page or product, as the main channel for product is e-com. Traditionally, research doesn't have easy access to System 1, while System 2 depends on normative database, which is still evolving for D2C or e-com. Crownix in-context e-com simulator predicts real-world behavior in competitive context. Through Crownix in-context simulator, Dabur got detailed research intelligence around funnel of click-throughs, deep dive, and add to cart, in addition to time spent and viewed images or videos of content. Dabur got close to real estimates of trials, clear guidance on brand and content and purchase journey in a fast, accurate, and cost-effective manner. As D2C and e-com are growing rapidly, this Dabur's research paves path for many brands for close to reality measurement of System 1 response.
A little bit of suspense helps, huh? And the award goes to Vition and Hindustan Unilever Limited.
Congratulations, you guys. That was a well-deserved win. The adage goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. But this jury got cracking when the going went tough and chose a fabulous winner. Hats off to them.
Okay, thank you, Nihal, for that.
Pleasure.
Before we move on to our next segment, we would like to thank our media partners who helped us socialize this event. AdGully is an e-news portal that has expertise in the advertising, marketing, media, and entertainment sector. Campaign India, on the other hand, brings readers news on the latest developments, thought-provoking and timely analysis, and informed debate on issues that confront practitioners in the country. AFAX, in fact, is a leader in the marketing communications news space. Ladies and gentlemen, hold your breath, because next in line is the award that transcends the Golden Key Award and is one that celebrates individuals who have shaped and transformed the industry. I feel honored to present to you the most distinguished Lifetime Achievement Awards. We now call upon stage industry veteran for the last 3 decades. Your energy still puts us millennials to shame, and she also goes by Director General MRSI. I welcome Mithali Chauhan to take us through this segment of the evening. Can we have a loud round of applause, please?
Good evening, all. We are here to express our gratitude to the giants of industry who have made it their life's work to transform market research and insights. In the next segment, we will acknowledge our debt to them for the things we take for granted today. our role in business decisions, and the world-class institutions we work with. We realize now how much we are still basking in their reflected glory. I would like to thank the jury that supported this decision. It was co-chaired by last year's winners, Devi Basu and Meena Kaushik. I would also like to thank the MRSI committee behind this awards process, which was chaired by Preeti Reddy and supported by Chandan Mukherjee, Director and Executive VP of Strategy, Marketing and Communication at Nestlé's, and Proshun Basu, Head of Growth and Digital Transformation, South Asia, Kantar. As you might recall, this award is only 3 years old, and when we started, we had a huge waiting lounge of many individuals, long, long overdue for recognition. This year, the committee decided to focus on nominees who started their careers in 1979 or earlier. For the Lifetime Achievement Award 2022, we have 2 winners. They both exemplify the impact of insight on businesses and institution building and taking India to the global arena. I give to you, in alphabetical order, Ranama Bujapurkar and Thomas Pulyal. In the next few minutes, we will acknowledge each in turn. May I request Manish Makhijani to come on stage to share with us Rama's amazing journey. Manish is past president of MRSI and formerly Consumers Insight Director at Unilever, and is now consulting organizations in unlocking growth. Manish?
Thank you, Mitali. I feel hugely honored and incredibly privileged to be standing in front of you and standing in front of Rama Bujapurkar to talk about the journey that Rama has had. This is a journey that has inspired all of us, and the stories of the journey are quite famous already, as a lot of you would know. Rama started her journey in 1977 from IIM Ahmedabad, after which she joined Lintas as a management trainee. Lintas, in fact, that was the first time Lintas was hiring MBAs to have some left-brain people working with the right-brain people, and she was among that first batch to join. They did put her in research, but she thought the world of advertising was a lot more cutting-edge world to be in, so she chose to be in advertising instead. However, within a year, she was desperate to get out of that and get back and get into research, and that's how she found a job, found a role at Pathfinders within Lintas. She spent a few years there, but sorry, I'm reading here. So she spent about 4 years learning the ropes of the research, but then a call came, and she learned that Shilu Chattopadhyay of IMRB, Subhas Chakravarti from Rediffusion, and Devi Basu was setting up an agency called Mode in Calcutta, and they wanted her to lead the Bombay branch. And that's how, at the age of 25, she was the head of a branch of an agency. Let's hear from Preeti Reddy, who has worked with her at that point in time. Can we have Preeti's video, please?
First time that one meets Rama, you recognize that she is a force of nature. Is absolutely formidable, and for a greenhorn like me then, positively terrifying because of her sheer intellect. She is as strong with numbers as she is with words. She has the capability to think at the speed of light and the capability to speak as fast as she thinks. And all the time she's making perfect sense and offering you perspectives that you wish that you had had. Being with Rama and trying to keep up with her is like running faster and faster to stay in the same place. Since the time that I met Rama 40 years ago, she hasn't slowed down in the speed, scale, and impact of her achievements. The MR industry today, Rama, recognizes and is hugely appreciative of the contributions that you have made in taking the consumer and consumer insights into the boardroom and in the center of business decision making. You have given a business perspective to consumer data, and you got the consumer industry the proverbial seat on the table. So over the years that I have found that under her tough professional exterior, Rama is a caring, generous, vulnerable person. She is particularly generous with women, and she truly believes in the personal and professional sisterhood where women have each other's back. And for that itself, I think she should be given a Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Rama. Thank you very much, and congratulations again.
After about 7 years at Mode, Shanu Sen of HUL, or HLL as it was called then, came knocking at the door, asking her to help them. In typical Rama style, if you know her, she told them that I can't handle your straitjacket and you can't handle my irreverence. And in her own style, she managed to negotiate what she calls the insider-outsider role, which is basically a full-time consultant. She dived right into the war with Nirma at that time and helped develop the business low-cost detergent model in the form of Wheel. Mid-80s were quite an exciting period, pre-liberalization, and a lot of exciting things were happening in the market. Wanting to be part of that action, she joined MARC and set up the marketing consulting practice with Professor S.K. Bhattacharya. She ended up being the deputy managing director at MARC and was frequently presenting papers at different seminars, including at MRSI. She was in fact among the first people from India to be regularly present at SOMAR annual conferences, where she would be on the crusade of why market research needs to be more of a problem-solving function than problem-solving and decision-making function, rather than being their old worlds of tools and techniques. She did move a couple of times during that time back to HUL to develop the low-cost food business model in the form of Annapurna, worked with McKinsey, but she always was seeking consumer in the business strategy, and hence she set up her own consulting practice. We are going to hear from a couple of people, Suresh Narayanan of Nestle and Vinita Bali, formerly of Cadbury Schweppes and the Coca-Cola company, about Rama. Can we have those videos, please?
For a consumer marketeer, understanding the consumer holistically in terms of all the nuances, in terms of research, in terms of techniques, is probably the most important dimension. And yet, there are very few people, I repeat, very few people in this country who truly understand the consumer in all his or her dimensions. I am therefore delighted that the Market Research Society of India has decided to confer its Lifetime Award on one such person, whom I would count as probably the most knowledgeable on the consumer in our country, from decades of experience and from decades of exposure to the marketing function and to the research function. I'm delighted that Rama Bijapurkar is getting this Lifetime Award. I have known her as a professional and deeply respect her. I have the highest regard for her as a human being, one of the best humans that I know. I've also had the privilege of having her on the board of Nestle India, and her invaluable contributions to understanding the consumer and the journey are still being talked about. Congratulations, Rama, on this unique honor and on this very well-deserved honor for someone like you, who has done so much for the market research and insight profession in this country. So much that we can talk about it for decades. Congratulations, Rama, and great choice, MRSI.
Can we have Vinita Bali video, please?
Rama has the ability to synthesize vast quantities of data and information and offer actionable insights. Her probing intellect, understanding of business models, and the capacity to challenge status quo have greatly benefited brands and businesses she has worked with. and I speak with first-hand experience in both Cadbury as well as Britannia. Congratulations, Rama, for this well-deserved honor, and thanks to MRSI for recognizing her amazing talent.
In about 2011, Rama set up, along with Dr. Shukla, formerly of NCAER, set up a non-profit entity called People Research on India's Consumer Economy and Citizen Environment. The idea here was to create the macro consumer discipline as a sort of complement to economics, to provide a people-based view of the economy as an input to public policy and business decisions. Again, something that no one else had done before. The think tank does pan-idea surveys and disseminates insights primarily for public policy around how Indian households earn, spend, save, live, think, and access public services and goods. She has recently handed over the reins of this think tank to her co-founder. Rama is also quite a well-known teacher at IIM Ahmedabad. She taught the Hallmark Market Research course MRIS at IIM Ahmedabad for about 15 years in 80s and 90s. Post-2000, in keeping with the new area of work, she set up another course called Customer-Based Business Strategy, which still runs at IIM Ahmedabad. She also started a new course 3 years ago with 3 colleagues called Driving Better Business Decisions Through Advanced Consumer Insights and Sense Making, which has different interesting modules on neuroscience, one module on anthropology, and one module on big data, and driven with a common project with a common business problem. We're now going to hear from a couple of people, Sudhir Sitapati, CEO of Godrej Consumer, and Dr. Anish Shah, Managing Director and CEO of Mahindra Group, who have been her students in the past.
Rama is really the mother of market research in India. And I have 2 examples at very different times in my career of my interaction with her. First, she taught us a course called EMRIS at IIM Ahmedabad. And I remember the focus with which she dealt on problem definition versus problem solution. We all went in thinking that market research is a tool for problem solution. And she actually kind of told us that market research is a tool for problem definition. And my second sort of moment of interaction with her, which really kind of shaped life, is I remember reading her book, We Are Like That Only, in which she had mentioned that the only thing that mums in India value more than educational prowess of their children is the display of values. And this sort of thought was the kernel that went behind Dirt is Good in India. So both as a teacher and also as a writer, she's had a profound impact on me as a person. I've known her for many, many years in many capacities. And I can't say, she's a guru to me, and I can't say how happy I am that she's getting this award. Thank you so much, Rama, and thank you for everything that you've done for the market research industry.
Rama Bijapurkar was my professor at IIM Ahmedabad, and I've therefore known her for many years. She was truly a pioneer for market research in India, and the discipline that she brought in has really helped a very large number of companies and entrepreneurs over the years. I still remember her book, We Are Like That Only. Rama's helped us tremendously on the Mahindra Finance Board, and her questions are always very insightful and really focus on what the consumer wants. One of her favorite sayings is, don't think about what you want to do for the consumer, but think about what the consumer really wants, and that will give you the answers. And really pushes our teams to try and get to that level of insight. So it's truly awesome to see Rama get this award today. Rama, our very best wishes, and this is very well deserved. Thank you.
And it doesn't end here. She's an author too. We've all literally grown up reading the books that Rama has written. Some of the things get quoted from her book quite often, from her books quite often, because they bring out the quirkiness of the Indian consumers and explaining why we consume, as Indians consume products the way we do. She also writes very regularly in columns and blogs, and I'm sure all of us have heard her talking about what the complex economic numbers really mean, particularly after the economic survey is released. So, ladies and gentlemen, Lifetime Achievement Award winner of 2022, Rama Bijapurkar. I hand it over to Mithali.
Thank you, Manish, for sharing with us the life path of the charismatic and iconoclastic Rama Bijapurkar. May I request Sudhir Sitapati, MD and CEO Godrej Consumer Products, our past president Praveen Tripathi, and Manish to please hand over the award to Rama. Rama, please. Rama, we would be honored for you to address us with a few words. Yes.
Good evening, members of MRSI, guests, fellow market researchers, friends. That is a confused and overlapping segmentation, but what the hell, it's my day today. Getting this award really means a lot to me. It is a huge honor. Thank you, MRSI. Thank you, members of the jury, for this recognition. I think what makes this award even more special for me is that I share it with Thomas Bulliel, I have jumped the gun, is it? Who I have long admired, especially how with each passing decade, he contributes even more and spoke even less. Apologies, Mithali, for ruining this. My campus placement offer, as you know, was for research, and I insisted on going to advertising. And when I got market research a year later, after much begging, I want to say that there hasn't been a single day, and I don't exaggerate, when I have not been excited about the work that has come my way. For me, market research and consumer insight, as very kindly a lot of my friends have said, has always been about aiding business decisions and problem solving and shaping business direction. And it is in this quest, in this journey, that I've had extraordinary mentors who've shown me the way. And today is the day I would like to salute some of them. Professor A.K. Jain, who's not here, my teacher at IMA, the teacher of everybody, two of the gentlemen who've spoken, used to run this incredible course that you've heard about that he gave me a chance to teach in. It was called MRIS, and it was a boot camp in business problem definition and deriving information that was to be used to solve problems. With each passing year, and he was a tough taskmaster even to his co-instructor, but with each passing year, he helped me sharpen the saw. I also had the amazing good fortune to work with, and he's no longer with us, the late Shilu Chattopadhyay, the founder of Mode. Shilu taught me how to think. I was 25 years old, arrogant, thought I knew it all. He used to make me write proposals and reports with one thought per page. The headline had to be what the page was about and why it was there, and the baseline had to have 3 dots, therefore, and so what. If you handed him a document, he would read the headlines to check analytical rigor, and he would read the baselines to check depth and coherence of the answer that you were producing. If the page was fluff, it went to the dustbin, and many a time I've had a document read by him with no pages left at the end of his reading. One day I was drowning in tables, and it's hard for this audience in this mahal to know that in those days we had these large computer sheets and printouts that came from the mainframe, and I was struggling and drowning with it. And he said, will you just go to the next room, leave all your papers behind, and come back? I did that, and he said, okay, no toys, no crutches, tell me what it is in this data. I struggled and said something, and I thought it was a pretty good answer, and he just looked at me and said, You told me what you found. Now tell me what you learned. I felt murderous, but at that time, but truth be told, he laid the intellectual foundation on which the rest of my work has been built. Learning comes in many ways. It comes from clients. The more demanding, the better, though it sometimes feels like that unnecessary trial by fire you don't really need. But it also comes from, and I've had my fair share of demanding clients, but it also comes from learning, and new ideas also come from all the people that, the co-workers, the people who you work with, the people that you discuss issues with on projects and so on. And there are so many people who have contributed to this. A lot of them are sitting at the table there. And it's a really, really long list. So yesterday I was thinking about it, and I thought it was a little bit like how I feel when, or how anyone, I guess, feels when you stand in front of your large library and you look at all the books that you've read, and then you have this realization that all the thoughts that you thought were actually yours are probably some synthesis of everything that somebody else said that you probably read. And then if I had to divide my career, there is definitely two strategic eras, pre-Marg and post-Marg. Marg equals T2 and Dorab. Marg opened doors for me to meet and learn from globally acclaimed researchers in all fields. There were qualitative research, there was semiotics, there was simulated test market modeling, there was advertising testing, and lots more. In addition, it just gave me a world that I don't think I would have had exposure to any other way. And most important of all, it gave me confidence. Marg marketed the hell out of me, and thank you, Marg, for that. So there was before Marg and after. T2 in particular pushed me to publish papers, which I had never done before. And he showed by example what endless forward movement was. When he came into the office in the morning and he said, as he often did, I was thinking last night, I would shudder not knowing what it was that would land in your lap that he thought about. But it was out of this that new and different things always came up. So thank you, both of you at this table. From foundations like these, going further afield and pushing the envelope in different areas was not difficult. Thank you, God, for the fantastic people you put into the same train compartment as me in my career journey. And I wish all you young people here have the same good fortune as I've had on this count. I must confess that the MR industry in the 80s, in fact, I'm blown away when I see this, because the industry in the 70s and the 80s was a hard place to be. Long hours, low resources, meager billing, lots of traveling, horror of horrors, no email, no cell phones, and in my case, home and office merged into one whole so that I could just manage to hold my life together. My late husband Ashok and my daughter Aparna bore the brunt of it at home. I wish she were here today, but I'm very glad that Aparna is. So this award, Aparna, is as much mine as it is Dad's and yours. Thank you, MRSI. My heart is full and my heart is singing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rama. Thank you for those very, very inspiring words. Now we move to our second winner of the evening, Thomas Puliyal. If we put up the presentation, please. Thomas Puliyal's journey has been witnessed firsthand by many of us in the room today, myself included. Pradeep shares his views of Thomas's journey. BV Pradeep will share his views, and then Ambi. So will you play Pradeep's video, please? If you could just start from the beginning again with the sound.
You created a legacy. You've been a stalwart of the research industry right from the very beginning. You've been an institutional builder. You built RI from scratch and then led IMRB to much greater heights. You supported me immensely when I was the president of Market Research Society of India for 6 years. You created a legacy which is being built on even today.
Thank you. Ambi is with us today. Will you please play his video?
He brought, I think, to the market research community a great sense of integrity, competence, and commitment. And in my mind, I don't think there is anyone more deserving of the award than my dear friend Thomas Pulliel. Congratulations, Thomas, and all the very best in whatever you continue to do in terms of developing the market research industry in India.
So we see here young Thomas, just graduated from IMC in 1977. And even while he was studying, he somehow managed to be something called a PGP tutor in his year while he was still studying. He joins ORG in 77. Very generously, he has shared photographs of giants with him, Dr. Vasant Patankar, G. Patsati, and R. Narasimhan. And what he was doing there was client servicing on the audits, which was retail and prescription audits, and also media research, which was then press advertising, and the second NRS. Then IMRB happened to him, and we have a very interesting set of words of how it happened from Dorab in a minute. But he joined IMRB and was very shortly sent to Dubai to set up a store audit for the Al Futtaim Group. Let's go to Dorab, who will tell us a little bit about what happened there.
I've known Thomas for over 40 years, from the time we pinched him from ORG into IMRB to help us conduct the National Leadership Survey. It was a large and complex survey for a relatively inexperienced executive, but Thomas handled it very well. A few years thereafter, Thomas and I were dispatched to Dubai to set up an in-house market research company for the Al Futtaim Group. It was a 12-month project. Thomas was there for 12 months, and I was there for the first month and the last one, which means Thomas did all the work. And it was a successful project. And then we knew that we had a star on our hand.
We go to the next phase then, which is IMRB through the next decade or so. You'll see the photograph where it's very much still a division of HTA. You have Subhash Ghoshal and Mike Khanna there. Also Ramesh Thadani, Rajiv Vinamdar, Sudipto Sinha, Priya Tandon, J. Rajaratnam, K.T. Merchant, Tilak Mukherjee, amongst others. And the other thing that Thomas called out that he thought was worth sharing with you is in this stage, there was the socialization of the NRS. You can imagine a time, perhaps find it difficult to imagine a time where nobody really knew what it was and what to do with it. And this entire exercise which he took on made NRS embedded and socialized it to what it is today, which is a current common currency. Also, he talked about the SEC classification. Back in the day, there was nothing that gave you a sense of how affluent households were. You had claimed monthly income, which would either be horribly overrated or horribly underrated, depending on whether you had black money or not. And also what happened in this stage was there was a joint venture set up for TAM that was specializing in media research. And I think we need to realize how challenging it must have been to have two rivals come together and work towards a common cause. After this, we had the Research International era, where he set up a second agency, which he said was fun, but hard work. And also, this second agency set up 3 offices in Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. The next part of the journey, 2000 onwards, was IMRB International, where he talks about how he was joined by the people he calls the old war horses, who were the ones on the left as you see it, and calls out that it had Bhupi, Hemant, Hari, Nikhil, Cad, Girish, Jyoti, Katie, Hema, and Nirja. And the ones on the bottom corner are what he calls the new ones: Preeti, Rohini, Himali, Lekha, Sridevi, Vivek, Surya, Gagan, and more. Now about another snippet from Durab telling us more about how he reached the pinnacle of his career. Will you play this clip, please?
He reached the pinnacle of his career, which is to head IMRB, which is one of the jewels in India's research grounds. A good researcher, leave alone a good CEO in market research, needs, I think, many qualities, two of which Thomas has in great abundance. One is technical competence, and the second is total integrity. Thomas has also, which is difficult to discern at times, a very subtle and a very wicked sense of humor. And a few of us have been fortunate to witness it. By honoring Thomas today, the MRSI also honors itself. Thank you.
Also, what Thomas rounded up very modestly his time, this long journey, was really reflects on his own approach to being inclusive and proudly shares what we did together. He talks about the values, he talks about the awards, he talked about how transformational process and operations were taken from India to the wider Kantar, and also talks very proudly about how the tenure of many of the people from MRB were 25 years plus. Let's hear now from the other side of the fence, the global view on Thomas. Eric Salama shares his views with us. Will you share the video, please?
We worked together for over 20 years at IMRB and Kantar and Research International. He was a magnificent leader. He grew our business in India multiple times, groomed a whole generation of new leaders that have followed on from him. He was incredibly stubborn. He always defended his people and the business and was very protective of it, but did it in a caring, loving way, which resulted in a fantastic business.
And even after MRB, his trajectory continues. He's made contributions at the World Economic Forum. We can hear from Josh on Thomas now.
Thomas is an institution builder. He built IMRB into an institution by creating a culture of independence and professionalism. He helped build a better industry by pioneering collaboration through MRSI. And Thomas enhanced the stature of the research industry through his personal qualities. An expert researcher, a marketing thinker, honest, fair, wise, the quintessential gentleman research professional.
And his trajectory continues in the research space with the S.P. Jain Institute of Marketing and Research, where he's written research papers, research monographs, and continues to write about the impact of very, very real and current issues, such as the effect on COVID on CMOs today. That's a paper that we all need to wait for. It's work in process still. Let's hear from Dr. Ranjan Banerjee, who was with him at SPJMR.
Thomas Puliyal was a colleague of mine at SPJMR. He was the head of the marketing area when I was dean of the institute. Nice, warm sense of humor. I found him somebody who, if you asked him for advice, without any rancor, he could give you critical, positive feedback, and who wears his success very lightly and with humility. It's been a pleasure to know him and work with him.
Thank you. And this is the last video that we had. I think Thomas gave us some names and he thought that many people would not respond. Every single one of them got back. So, I mean, that's a testament to you, Thomas. So not only are we talking about learning and taking the students of today forward, but even brands like Tata Sons are hugely being benefited with Thomas's expertise, and we'll hear from Harish Bhatt on that.
This is wonderful news to us. At the Tata Group, we have had the privilege and opportunity of working with Thomas on a specific consumer-related research project of a strategic nature over the past 3 years. Thomas has brought his insights to the table. He has a keen power of observation, the ability to cull out very good insights from a research study. He's good at making strategic trade-offs, making choices with that calm confidence of his. Thomas also has a great clarity of thought, which I admire very much. And he's very persistent and determined in getting to the final solution, in getting to the final milestone, casting aside all obstacles which may come along the way. For all these reasons and many more, we greatly respect Thomas Pulail's capability in the arena of market research. And I'd like to mention on behalf of my colleagues and myself who have worked with him that this is indeed a wonderful milestone.
I'd like to call upon MRSI past presidents Sandeep Arora, Jayant Jain, and Praveen Shekhar to please come on stage to hand over the trophy to Thomas. Thomas, we would be honored for you to address the
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be here, the recipient of this year's MRSI Lifetime Achievement Award. And I think that honor is greatly enhanced by getting this award alongside Rama, who I've admired, respected for many, many long years. Mitali has done a wonderful job of sort of giving you a snapshot of the last 45 years, and I'm greatly humbled by all that's been said by my colleagues from the industry. Thank you very much for your kind words. I hope that I work harder to deserve the words that you've said, perhaps sometime in the future. Thank you, Mitali. Over the next few minutes, I'll try and recount a few anecdotes from my working career, talk a little bit about what we could have done better, and then cover my next project and seek your help in that. I began my career with ORG, market research company that many of you might have forgotten, but began operations in the 1960s, clearly the earliest formal market research agency in the country. ORG was the brainchild of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, created to monitor the sales of Sarabhai products, consumer products, detergents, and pharmaceuticals. I don't know if you know that the Sarabhai product Det was the first detergent brand in the country, launched even before Lever's Surf. Sarabhai Chemicals was the largest pharmaceutical firm in the country, larger than Glaxo and Pfizer and Ranbaxy and Cipla. And the ORG was sort of created to monitor sales for those products. So you can only marvel at the vision of Dr. Sarabhai to begin the store audits in a year, maybe just a few years after it was actually launched in mainland Europe in 1957. As a first job for a new executive out of a business school, it was very invigorating. It was you met with a very wide range of clients because of the nature of client servicing of the store audits as well as of the readership survey. I joined IMRB in '81, spent about a year, as Dorab had mentioned, with the Alphatem, creating a market research cell for that company, then came back to India, and then got to working on the third National Readership Survey. I remember Ramesh Tadani and I were to make a presentation to clients in Delhi on the findings of the National Readership Survey, and I was running to the airport. It was very early in the morning, at about 5:45 or so. I was hurrying from home to catch a cab to the airport, and in a slightly underlit part of that road, a car stopped alongside me, and a person got out of the car waving a knife, asked for my cabin bag, my jacket, and my wallet. The unfortunate bit was that the cabin bag contained the Kodak Carousel, which had the deck of slides to be presented at Delhi for the findings of the NRS. I told the person who had accosted me that I had to get to the airport urgently, so I extracted 100 rupees from my wallet with his permission, and then handed over the rest of my stuff to him, including my wristwatch and my wedding ring. The story has a happy ending, actually. I went to the airport, booked a fresh ticket to Delhi, went home, collected another jacket, spoke with my assistant, woke her up actually in the morning to fax the text of the slides to Delhi. We got a new set of slides made, and we had the client meeting just about 45 minutes later than scheduled. But to the credit of the clients, they all stayed back and hung around for that time. In the 1980s, MRSI happened. The diary TRP monitoring system was created, and the SEC system was created, completed in 1989. The SEC study was a collaborative effort with a group of 4 research agencies carrying out the fieldwork. Considering that the study was done during a period of great business rivalry, it is to the credit of the leaders of the research business at that time who rallied together under the MRSI banner to get the study completed. Of course, Ashutosh Sinha was there at that time, did most of the heavy lifting that was required. A small core team from IMRB then moved along with me to create Research International, the second agency for IMRB to handle multi-country work and competitive accounts. That was 1991, a time when clients in India wanted local servicing, and therefore we had to create branch offices, have senior people in all these offices, a fairly costly business model. With Ramesh's untimely passing in the year 2000, I returned to the mothership. It is to the credit of all the senior managers who were there at that time, the heads of the regional offices, specialized businesses, qual research, customer sat, social research, B2B, that they all worked together to create this business. Many of them have actually spent their whole working careers with IMRB. K.T. Merchant was one of the first few employees of IMRB, worked from 1971 till 2002, 31 years. Josh Mukherjee, who you've heard earlier today, began in the early 1980s and continued till a couple of years ago. Hemant Mehta spent 30 years. They were all fiercely loyal, hugely creative, and the business success of IMRB is the collective result of all the managers pulling together as one. My achievements are not my own. I share this honor with all those who, over the years, contributed to my personal growth, the company's culture and values, and its business success. When you follow great institution builders like Ramesh Tadani, Dorab Sapariwala, Titu Ahluwalia, and Subhash Ghoshal and Mike Khanna from Thomson's, and tread in their footsteps, your task becomes so much easier. A big thank you to my wife, Chitra, and our daughters, Preeti and Tarani, who have always been very supportive and never demanding. Thank you for being who you are. My 6 years at SPJMR post-retirement was also refreshingly different from the previous 38 years in market research. And for that, I have to thank Dr. Banerjee, the former Dean of SPJMR, and the very energizing team of faculty at SPJMR, and thank you, Ambi, for your part of that in that role. But looking back at my time in the market research industry, while there was a lot that was good stuff that we can justifiably be proud of, there are some regrets. The questions that come to mind are, while we did great innovation over the years, how much of that was a response to client need? Did we drive innovation through white space mapping, a recommendation that we make to many of our own clients? As a business leader, were we too cautious to grow our business through acquisitions? Did we miss out on opportunities to grow the business inorganically? And the third question that comes to mind is whether we did enough to realize the full value of the work that we do. Perhaps each of us, when we pose these questions to ourselves, will have a different answer. But this is something that's worth thinking about. I would like to end by briefly talking about a project that I'm working on, which is to document the first 50 years of the research industry in India, the years 1960 to 2010. We already have access to about 40 hours of interviews with key leaders of the business and heads of fields and analysis. There's some more to be done, about perhaps another 25 hours of interviewing. Now, this is conceived of as a collection of perspectives, memories of events and anecdotes to bring alive the challenges of business at that time. So if you have interesting stories or connections which you think should be featured in this history, please write to me. I believe my contact details are available on the MRSI website and the directory of members, and I can discuss with you on how we can take this forward. Thank you for your patience while I shared my memories. Perhaps at the end of this evening, we can get together and exchange notes on the joys of working in this business. Thank you all.
Thank you all. The emotion in this room speaks for itself. Truly indebted to our Lifetime Achievement Award winners of 2022, Rama Bijapurkar and Thomas Puliyal.
So truly inspirational. Thank you, Ms. Bijapurkar and Mr. Puliyal, for all that you have done for the industry. I think each one of us in the industry would not be where we are if not for these stalwarts. Now next session is an energizer session. So I want you all to show some energy to us, please. Our next speaker, no, I want the energy first. Can we have a round of applause? Our next speaker is a keen observer of the whims and foibles of the research people and practices. In fact, you might even call her a observer. We are very happy to call on stage someone who was an absolute riot the last time she graced an MRSI event. So much so that she's back on popular demand.
Oh, sorry. That was my cue to say something, right? Shobha Prasad, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't have just one designation, she has two. She is Chief Shobserver at Shobservatory and Director of Drishti Strategic Research Services as well. Can we have a round of applause for Shobha, please? Hey Shobha, the floor is all yours.
Hi everyone. Am I audible? Okay, so I am Chief Shobserver, and that's the avatar in which I'm standing before you now. When Mitali met me and she said, we were planning to have a stand-up comedian, but we decided against it, the next person we thought of was you. So I was not quite sure how to take that, because that's not where I intended to be, all those years ago when I started in research, but that's where I am. And I think everybody here will agree that you need a very good sense of humor to survive in research, right? Yes? Yeah. And the fact is that the more things go wrong, and things go wrong all the time, the more you laugh. And that's our survival skill. And I feel there's a direct proportionate relationship between the things going wrong and us laughing. So if you can see, I have a huge body of cartoons, so you know the extent to which things have probably gone wrong with me. But the thing is that, in terms of our industry, this is what we think the inciting process is really going to be, right? A neat little of data, you lying under the tree and, insights dropping on you. You don't have to do very much. I'm sorry to say that that's not the reality. This is the reality, right? It's a data forest out there, and everything that can go wrong. Are you sure there are insights in there? Is the first thing that we all think about. So how do we navigate this? How do we work, right? We work with enthusiastic teams. So what is our enthusiastic team? Hey guys, we have a new assignment on sewage pipes. Who's free? I am busy till next year. My schedules are full. I have 5 projects running. I am brain dead. I have a migraine. Things change a bit. So I guess no time for the Goa tourism project either. Oh, I found a slot. I can take another project. I'm super efficient. My brain just cleared. My migraines vanished. So the sad truth is that people who manufacture sewage pipes get a lesser quality of research and enthusiasm compared to those who are on Goa tourism projects or ice cream or things like that. Yes? So the other thing that we do is we have a lot of fruitful conversations. So what is our fruitful conversations? We need to unpeel our problems layer by layer. Slice it, dice it, squeeze out our data. Uncover the seeds, get to the core. And then, why have you stopped eating fruit? I wish I knew. And behind the face, we use a lot of technology. We now know that, the human face is up for our analysis, and we have decoded it. We know exactly what it means. So, we have our face reading technologies. Please sit and watch some ads. Cool. Later, now for facial analysis. Ad 1, confused. Ad 2, upset. Ad 3, delighted. Things are very clear. She loved ad 3. Let's run it. This tech is amazing. All the ads are bizarre? Yeah, I had trouble keeping a straight face. Ad 3 was the worst, was the weirdest. I burst out laughing. I wonder. And how qual and quant integrate? We have this wonderful symbiotic relationship between qualitative and quantitative. So let's go behind the scenes to see how that happens. Data, some petals. Let's put it to our quantitative friends. Quantitative analysis, petals, n equals 7. 1 to 2 inch 2, 3 to 4 inch 3, greater than 4 inch 2. Sample size insufficient. We need at least 30 petals for meaningful analysis. Now let's toss this problem to our qualitative side. The petals imply the full flower, nourished by sunlight, visited by a bee, destroyed by whether wild or haps a ruthless child, or wrenched from a garland by an unwilling bride. This is also called creative leap, hypothesis building. It goes under many names. So then what happens? How do we integrate? Integrated findings after bloodshed and many derisive comments. This may be a flower, but more data required for conclusive output. That's how we do it. Coming to our respondents. This is the strange thing about respondents. Man on social media, love, hate, like my violent and loud opinion. Man on a survey, don't know, can't say. What happens? Is it because what we see, so there are humans, but we researchers see consumers. And this is what we see. We see data points. We see my geography, my cohort, whatever. And that may be the reason why we do this. She's still breathing. Let's show her one more concept. Okay. Client log and hum log. Let's see what happens here. Last time at the MRSI, I presented this client archetypes, and I had a lot of people coming to me and saying, which client archetype am I? Tell me right now. And I tried to escape, but some of them pinned me down. Data glutton. That's super. Can we have extra analysis? There was some. Escape artist. Give us a summary and I'll read the full report later, preferably at night to cure my insomnia. The flighty. Give me all the answers in 5 minutes. I have a flight to catch. Super client. This is my favorite. Slide 112 contradicts point 2 on slide 26. The gourmet. Can we articulate this better? Can you change the font? Can you change the template? Can you change everything? And why don't you dress a bit better? Finally, the grateful, which we have very few of, we'd like more of. That's so cool to know consumers actually know my brand. So what are the researcher archetypes? Let's see if there are a few. Data man, there are no humans, there are only numbers. God is in the data. Sculptor, what shape is the data taking? Whatever shape I choose. Storyteller, once upon a consumer. The client asks, is this story a tad fanciful? Who cares? I love it. Table maker. Next, churning out the tables. Guru, ignore my words at your peril, right? But the last type is probably something that all of us will associate with the poor drowning researcher. And then there is a strange breed. Actually, this creature I have never encountered, but I've only spoken on the phone to. It's called procurement, right? So I've never seen this creature with my eyes. I've only heard his voice saying, aapka price is too high. The next, all your competitors are half your price. Do something about it. Despite that, we're coming to you, but it's all right. This is how I visualize this man. Okay, he has got a calculator for a brain, a stone for a heart. He has bargaining chips which he eats, and he has special squeezer hands, and he has a sign that says, every man has his price. And he has music which says, what a wonderful world. And that's what this man, I've never seen him with my own eyes, but this is how I visualize the guy. Okay, and our output, I'm sorry, the fonts have gone, it was a different font, but I'm really sorry about that. Yeah. Okay, I've heard everyone saying that we do data dumps. We give too much data and then the client is swimming in data, what do they do? And I'd like to tell you that this has a historical perspective. It has a deep mythological origin, okay? I want you to think Ramayana. I want you to think Hanuman and Ram. When Lakshman was hurt and Hanuman had to go to the Sanjeevani mountain to find the solution. And this is what Hanuman came back with. He came back with a data dump. He said, I figured if I brought you the whole mountain, your solution will be in there somewhere. Has anybody thought of what Ram's state was in that position? Right? So with this kind of example, obviously this is what we do, this is what we've been taught by our culture. So that's what we would do. So finally, coming to our work life, I don't want to use the word balance because it's an extreme statement in our lives. There's no such thing. This is all the running I have done. Okay? This is the only exercise we get. And then, it impacts us. It makes us forgetful. We don't know what we've done. I've put my phone on charge. I put my iPad on charge now. I put my laptop also on charge. I'm just wondering, what have I forgotten to charge? There's something I've forgotten to charge. And it's this, Mom, am I getting any dinner tonight? Okay, and happiness, why we are never happy. We have a lot of people here who spent 20, 30 years in research. We are delicately referred to as silvers, right? Okay, why we are never happy. The top right quadrant is what we always wanted. That blue, beautiful spot of what I want and what I get. Unfortunately, a lot of us are sitting there wondering, is this what I really wanted? Right? And moving forward, we want to go on holidays. But you can send a researcher on a holiday. You can take a researcher out of a research office. You can't take research out of the researcher. And this is what happens to us. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Shobha, for those amazing tunes. I think my personal favorite were the archetypes. Maybe I could have one for myself.
I'm sure she'll be more than proud to do one for you. Ladies and gentlemen, our partners for the inspiration section were NIQ and Toluna. And I do recall you saying something about you being employed by NIQ. You want to tell them about NIQ? I can take the Toluna bit.
Yes, of course. NIQ is proud to be associated with the inspiration section at this GKA. This is the 100th year for NIQ as an organization, ladies and gentlemen. As a world leader in consumer intelligence, thank you on behalf of NIQ. As the world leader in consumer intelligence, NIQ continues to evolve and take the lead on creating new ways of engaging with client partners with increased focus on tech and analytics, integrating new retail channels, challenging traditional service models and internal org structures. With the consumer world becoming more dynamic and unpredictable, NIQ strives to deliver the most complete and clear understanding of consumer buying behaviors.
Fabulous stuff. Let me tell you guys a little bit about Toluna as well. Toluna is a technology company that delivers real-time insights at the speed of the on-demand economy. It combines innovative technology, award-winning research design, flexible customer service, and a global panel of over 40 million plus consumers. Toluna started its operations in the year 2000 and is currently servicing clients in 70 countries, and that's a lot. Toluna also has a panel of 16 million or more consumers throughout Asia, including extensive coverage of the Indian market. They collaborate with end clients and market research organizations and cover most of India's target study markets.
Thank you, Nihal.
My pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the final group of awards, the Impact Awards. These awards recognize the contribution of insights for the growth of the business and to let the limelight shine on the research professionals without whom marketing success and results would not have happened. This category is brought to you in partnership with Kantar. Kantar has been creating business impact for their clients for close to a century in over 90 markets across the globe. They are the leaders at adopting newer technology and are synonymous with introducing facial recognition in advertising testing, as well as the first to use people meters to measure TV audiences, and more recently, first to pilot apps to measure out-of-home consumption or deploy audio recognition to measure media consumption to better understand how people live, think, feel, watch, shop, vote, and post.
Fabulous. And our first award, ladies and gentlemen, in this group happens to be a new award that was added in this year, our 4th Golden Key Awards. The award is the best work in emerging sectors. Historically, market research has been associated with the CPG sector, and we know this all too well, while in fact the contribution of emerging sectors is growing year on year. BFSI, auto, e-com, media, pharma, and many more sectors get their moment in the spotlight with this award. It will be my pleasure to call on stage Sunita Bangad and Praveen Nijhara to give this award away. Let's take a look at the finalists for this award.
My name is Sumit from Team Helion. India is 6th largest health supplement market with 1.4 billion USD sales, but deeply underpenetrated. After deep consumer insights and category understanding, we learned that it's an extremely cluttered market with more than 500 players operating through multiple channels like traditional pharmacy, direct selling model, and e-com only brands. The business objective was to successfully launch world's #1 multivitamin brand Centrum in India through e-com channel. To accelerate our growth on e-com, we utilized retail intelligence database Stackline and optimized our keyword searches, improved our depth of offerings, content score, written content. As a result, within the launch of 5 months, Centrum is now a leader brand with 16% market share in multivitamin segment on Amazon.
to the MRSI Award for the best work in emerging sectors, NIQ.
Congratulations to you guys and well done on winning this award. A quick look at the jury who deliberated on this award and helped us choose the winners at the end of the day.
Moving on, but congratulations NIQ, standing tall and proud. Woohoo! Moving on to our next award, which is for Best Developmental Research. This award will be given to research work done in the developmental or social sector, which demonstrates the impact of research on social causes. It would be a pleasure to invite Mr. Vinay Virvani and Parijat Chakraborty to give away the award, please. Can we have the finalists?
Urbanization has brought with it a crisis of overcrowded slums, lacking basic amenities. To provide these basic amenities, Hindustan Unilever launched Community Suvidha Centers. Kantar Public uncovered deep human insights through situational analysis. Rigorous mixed methods help measure the impact of Suvidha centers overall and for each facility: toilets, hand washing, showers, drinking water, and laundry, enabling us to learn, course correct and scale them, particularly for women, children, elderly, and persons with disability. Consumers throughout multiple research phases expressed how Suvidha has improved their lives.
मच्छर रखता था, काट लेता था, इसके लिए बुखार आ जाता था, किसी को मलेरिया, किसी को टाइफाइड, तो अब ऐसा नहीं है, पूरा सफा रहता है।
और इधर बहुत अच्छा सिक्योरिटी है, 24/7 सिक्योरिटी और पानी का सप्लाई है, जो क्लीनिनेस है। अगर सब चीज़ का सुविधा है, पानी का है, पैक का है, हैंड वॉश का है।
होता है बहुत अच्छी सुविधा है हम लोग को, सस्ता भी पड़ जाता है। मतलब सुविधा जैसे है उसका लाभ भी सुविधा वैसे दे रहा है।
And Hindustan Unilever further scaling up efforts to reach 5 lakh people every year with more centers and social and behavior change campaigns. Hindustan Unilever's Suvidha centers are an example of how private-public collaboration can leverage market research to make a difference in people's lives.
Food waste is a global problem and India is no exception. In India alone, it is estimated that 40% of the food produced is wasted. Have you ever thought about how much food is wasted in your own household? We actually believe that we do not waste food. Research showed that 88% households believe that they do not waste food, but 50% of them do waste food. Quantifying food waste in Indian households is the first step towards change in behavior, making one face the stark reality of how much they are wasting. Finally, quantifying food waste can help us address food insecurity in India. While food is being wasted in one household, there are many people in India who struggle to access enough food to eat. Through this research, we want to create awareness around food wasted and urge people to make small changes in their daily habits, and together we can make a big difference.
Did you know that Punjab has one of the highest rate of hepatitis C in the country? And so many factors can lead to hepatitis C. usage is one of the major issues in India across socio-economic class. Ipsos was tasked to understand the primary risk factors for hepatitis C, especially for Indian population. We covered 10 district hospitals across Punjab for all 3 genders. The study was complex and required us to talk and convince patients to share sensitive information. We needed a separate room in the hospital itself, and third gender was also to be covered. The key impact of our study were assigning weightage to factors for hepatitis C for Indian population, inclusive framework was developed, client intervention on technical assistance to improve service delivery, and amendments to national guidelines for screening, diagnosis, and treatment of disease in progress.
Okay, quite a difficult segment, right? And the winner is Ipsos and Hindustan Unilever.
Congratulations, Team Ipsos and Unilever. Much deserved win. We would also like to thank the jury who deliberated on this award and spent their time selecting the winner.
Great stuff. Thanks, Ikita. Our next award is for Best Communication Crafting Research, where the communication was created and immensely enhanced, for that matter, by the research itself. Please do extend a warm welcome with me in inviting Dr. Meena Kaushik and Prashant Koleri to present this award. And let's also take a look at the finalists for this award.
Prashant Agarwal, and today I am here to talk about a brand that needs no introduction, brand Crocin. It is already a heritage brand in fever space, but the challenge was to leverage headache space for one of our variant, Crocin Pain Relief. From the UNA and brand equity, we identified safety as the white space that CPR can really own. But for a medicine, to take a safety stance was a difficult move because we can't use the word safe in any communication. And hence, we literally lived the consumers and identified all the right components that would land safety message without calling it out directly. The components were a mother endorsement, trust and heritage cues of Crocin, and the key insight that if a medicine can be taken empty stomach, it is perceived safer. With these components, we developed and launched our campaign in the market, which not only resulted in fantastic business uplift, but also fetched some prestigious awards internally.
taste, a little leisure today. Vahtaj. Meet serenity over a cup of Taj Mahal tea. Vahtaj.
So the best communication crafting research goes to Hindustan Unilever Limited.
Thank you so much, and Unilever, congratulations yet again. Woohoo! Lovely. And that, just a quick look at our jury members who went through the tough task of selecting the winner. Compared to them, I honestly feel that my job was a walk in the park. I mean, hats off to these guys. Right, moving on to our next award, and this one is the Best Business Impact Through Analytics. This award is for analytics performed on data, whether big or limited, structured or semi-structured or unstructured, that resulted in a demonstrable business impact. One would say, who better to call upon stage to give this award away other than Pendra Rana and Arindam Bhattacharya. A little round of applause for them, please. And let's now take a look at the finalists for this award.
Employee turnover has been on the rise in the recent years. The pandemic has greatly impacted employee satisfaction and voluntary attrition. Companies hire the best of people, but fail to create lasting employee experiences. Employees are the most important asset, and organizations need to create better employee experiences across the employee lifecycle, and Datamatics helps you get there. With our vision of helping our clients enrich their employee experiences, Datamatics embarked on a people analytics journey. With disparate data sets everywhere, most organizations fail to get a unified view of their employee. We created an ensemble model that integrated key HR components of hiring, attrition, and engagement. We developed and deployed design thinking, NLP and NLG, Deep Serve, and Lime to get insights at individual employee level. Business Impact created 1 year post-implementation.
And the award goes to HUL.
Winning this fabulous award. To judge something and pick a winner requires great knowledge and expertise in that field. We would like to commend and applaud the jury for their immense wisdom and expertise and knowledge to help us choose a winner out here.
Our final award for the day, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason for being in the industry. Best Business Impact Award through research. This award is for research and insights work that resulted in either volume or value growth. And the finalists that you would see have demonstrated the role of research, design, and execution that enabled insights which created measurable business impact. The award will be handed over by none other than Mr. Sudhir Sitapati. Can we please see who the finalists are?
Research gives us insights, but its impact on business can be unimaginable. We are talking about a unique piece of research done on fishnets and ropes. Plant was the market leader with 50% market share and fast losing its share to its nearest competitor.
We help the client to gain its dominance by the market, customize marketing strategy by each fishing vessel.
Is for the consumer, but it's often led by creativity and channel. COVID changed the landscape, altered the lens, redefined fashion, how it is retailed. For Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited, it was time to reconnect with consumers, rethink the channel, reimagine the rules of the game. It was important to take a more macro view. Focus moved from 2C, creativity and channel, to 6 Cs. Creativity, category, consumer, competition, customer, and channel. It wasn't that simple. We had our own challenges. Lack of belief and rigor in consumer research. Complex category. Change in consumer preferences. Time, a big constraint. Our approach, comprehensive view of the category, consumer, and channel. Therefore, multiple researches were mounted. Let's look at the impact and the results. For the very first time, annual brand plans were crafted along with business plans. Clear KPIs were set as outcomes. Helped build newer categories. Exponential jump in growth for brand Y. Helped build new communication for healthier pyramids. And build better customer experience. Jump in NPS scores. ABFRL, now a poster child for all the ABG businesses.
And the winner for Best Business Impact through Research is Kantar and Piramal Finance.
Louder.
Team Kantar and Piramal Finance, very well deserved. 6-part gin, 1-part vermouth. Some shaking would make for a good gintini that I'm going to have now. However, if you see here, it's more like 1-part jury, 1-part deliberation, and whole lot of discussions that made for the winner.
Super stuff, Akita. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for giving us your time, being here tonight, and actually supporting our entire exercise and endeavor. Your support means the world to us.
Thank you for joining us to celebrate and recognize the incredible talent and achievements of our industry. It's really a shared sense of pride and that we're walking away with, and the knowledge that we are well and truly doing something exceptional in the research industry.
Absolutely. You know, some people say that 80% of the average audience is hankering to get to the bar at any given time. My time with you here has told me that you are no average audience, and that number is definitely going to be very different in today's day and age. Anyways, I will take your leave now, and so will Akita, and we'll leave you in the capable hands of the charismatic, the unstoppable, and some could even say the storm in the face of calm, Manish Makhijani.
Right. Storm in the face of calm. I've been accused of that sometimes. So here I am to close the evening and to thank everybody who's been here. But the only thing that stands right now between me and the celebrity drinks, you and the celebrity drinks, is me. So I'm going to keep it very, very quick. First of all, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen in the rest of the evening. We've got a fantastic band called Crooners Collective coming up in a few minutes while you grab your drink and something to bite. They will be setting up the stage. They specialize in the retro music, Hindi and English both. So get ready to shake a leg and put on your dancing shoes. When we have to start thanking people, the first set of people that come to mind are the jury members. Jury members, we had people from different companies, we had from different service providers. They all put hours and days of looking at the entries, 168 entries that we had, of deciding, who the shortlisted entries are, listening to their presentations, deciding who the finalists are, and deciding who the winner. And I can tell you some of the discussions that I've had, and I was part of jury of one of the categories. The finalists particularly, the shortlist were very, very close to decide the finalists, and the finalists were so close to decide on who the winner is. It was an incredibly difficult challenge, and thank you so much to the jury members who've given us your time, you've given us your energy, you've given us your wisdom to decide who the final winners are. Some more jury members, these are in the alphabetical order. Our partners, we can't do an event like this without the support of our partners. So you've heard about them, you heard about those organizations during the event. All of these have contributed to make sure that we are able to run this event at a large scale and larger than ever before kind of a scale. GKA committee, the committee is the one who's deciding how the event should be run, what do we want the theme to be, what are the kind of speakers we want, etc., etc. So the committee has given us a lot of time and a lot of detailed guidance on how this particular event has to be run. So thank you so much to the GKA committee for your time and efforts. Our support partners, we have huge amount of support partners in terms of the event managers, the web streamers, and the tech support, a lot of them. So thank you to our partners. You've been with us in this journey for a while, and we hope to have you continuously as well. An event like this, trust me, cannot be run by a set of people. There are a huge number of volunteers who've been there, making sure the console is working, making sure the registration is done, making sure that the next set of people are there ready to give the awards, etc., etc., making sure the mics are working. So thank you so much, volunteers. These are the unseen faces, that are making sure that, event runs smoothly as it has. MRSI MC, led by Paru Minocha, has been the guiding spirit behind the event to sort of give us the broad guidance on where the event should be heading. Thank you, MRSI MC, for that. Hosts of the event, big round of applause for Nihal and Nikita. You guys did an absolutely fantastic job. You didn't look intimidated at all. Where are the two of you? You didn't look intimidated at all, yes, okay. We hope you get sufficiently drunk tonight. And thank you, Himanshu. You've been a pillar of support constantly, doing lots and lots of different things. We didn't give an opportunity to host, but you were there, you and Amanji, doing a lot of interviews. Thank you for that. And a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the MRSI Secretariat, which is led by Mitali, who's the Director General, Nidhi, Diana, Michaela, Hosanna, Sonali. They've been constantly, making sure that each and everything goes well. And I don't know if you noticed, but some people like me, Mitali, etc., were sort of looking at what sort of glitches are happening and when is something going to go wrong. Except one minor glitch at one place, we didn't notice any other glitch today. And it's thanks to you guys. You put a huge amount of efforts. Couple of things I want to remind you once more is that you've got the QR codes. If you want to nominate who should be considered or nominated for next year's Lifetime Achievement Award, please use the barcodes. There are barcodes for different things as well. I would also tell you that behind your name tag, there is a coupon for dinner, which you will have to show to make sure that you don't eat more than you are entitled to. But use that coupon. And thank you very much. Have a great evening.